Tomorrow is our final day, and congratulating us for reading all 31 chapters of Proverbs. On the 1st of August, Saturday, I'm going to do a live stream on my YouTube channel at 10 p.m. So come and join me as we talk and share about our process about Proverbs, our results about Proverbs, and any questions or any thoughts that you guys had about Proverbs, and regardless of Proverbs, anything about life and every thoughts that you guys been having, please bring them and let's just communicate and talk about them on the 1st of August as we step into a new month, a new August, to really talk about what now. Hi everyone, welcome back to 31 Days of Reading Proverbs. Today is finally chapter 30. If you guys are ready, please open up to chapter 30 and we'll dive straight in. Proverbs chapter 30. Here we go. The sayings of Agur, son of Jacob, an inspired utterance. This man's utterance to Ethiel. I am wary, God, but I can prevail. Surely I am only a brute, not a man. I do not have human understanding. I have not learned wisdom, nor have I attained to the knowledge of the Holy One. Who has gone up to heaven and come down? Whose hands have gathered up the wind? Who has wrapped up the waters in a cloak? Who has established all the ends of the earth? What is his name, and what is the name of his son? Surely you know. Every word of God is flawless. He is a shield to those who take refuge in him. Do not add to his words, or he will rebuke you and prove you a liar. 2 things I ask of you, Lord. Do not refuse me before I die. Keep falsehood and lies far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches, but give me only my daily bread. Otherwise I may have too much and disown you and say, Who is the Lord? Or I may become poor and steal, and so dishonor the name of my God. Do not slander a servant to their master, or they will curse you, and you will pay for it. There are those who curse their fathers and do not bless their mothers. Those who are pure in their own eyes and yet are not cleansed of their filth. Those whose eyes are ever so haughty, whose glances are so disdainful. Those whose teeth are swords and whose jaws are set with knives, to devour the poor from the earth and the needy from among mankind. The leech has 2 daughters. Give, give, they cry. There are 3 things that are never satisfied, 4 that never say enough. The grave, the barren womb, land which is never satisfied with water, and fire which never says enough. The eye that mocks a father, that scorns an aged mother, will be pecked out by the ravens of the valley, will be eaten by the vultures. There are 3 things that are too amazing for me, 4 that I do not understand. The way of an eagle in the sky, the way of a snake on a rock, the way of a ship on the high seas, and the way of a man with a young woman. This is the way of an adulterous woman. She eats and wipes her mouth and says, I've done nothing wrong. Under 3 things the earth trembles. Under 4 it cannot bear up. A servant who becomes king, a godless fool who gets plenty to eat, a contemptible woman who gets married, and a servant who displaces her mistress. 4 things on earth are small, yet they are extremely wise. Ants are creatures of little strength, yet they store up their food in the summer. Hyraxes are creatures of little power, yet they make their home in the crags. Locusts have no king, yet they advance together in ranks. A lizard can be caught with the hand, yet it is found in kings' palaces. There are 3 things that are stately in their stride, 4 that move with stately bearing. A lion, mighty among beasts, who retreats before nothing, a strutting rooster, a he-goat, and a king secure against revolt. If you play the fool and exalt yourself, or if you plan evil, clap your hand over your mouth. For as churning cream produces butter, and as twisting the nose produces blood, so stirring up anger produces strife. Amen. I am very tired. God, I am very tired. How can I keep going? Is what the author, Agur, of this chapter has written down. I know that we have been reading 30 chapters of Proverbs for 30 days till now. And even my dad, whom is a pastor, has agreed and acknowledged that reading one chapter a day, day by day, daily, every single day, is not easy. It's hard. And I can definitely say it wasn't easy to do this day by day. And I'm sure that you guys are having a difficult time to keep track of reading one chapter a day of Proverbs. And I can definitely say we are tired, not just by reading Proverbs itself, but we are sick and tired of staying home, quarantine, doing quarantine in this pandemic. We are tired of doing online classes, working from home, and we are tired from listening to what this world feeds us. And we are very tired and weary. And so we only have one more day left of reading Proverbs. Once we finish this, how are we supposed to keep on going? God knows our weariness. God knows our tiredness. And I'm sure that God acknowledges us and He is blessing us. And He is so proud of us for reading up until now. And He is so proud of us for reading Proverbs, for even challenging ourselves to read one chapter a day. We are very tired, but how should we keep on going? And I'm going to tell you guys 3 steps. The first one is in verse 32, where it says in ESV, if you have been foolish enough to become proud and make plans against other people, stop and think about what you are doing. The reason why we are tired, the reason why we are burdened, of course, we've done a lot of things, but at the same time, I think one of the biggest reasons why our hearts are burdened and tired is because we've been drained and we have not been filled fruitfully. And I think when you feel tired, stop and think what you're doing. Of course, reading Proverbs one chapter a day is really good, but if that's too much for you, you need to stop and match it to your pace. I'm not saying like be lazy and just do it easily. If it's too much for you, then you need to slow down for your own pace. Second is that God gives us our daily bread. Not too much, not too little. As Agar says, if we have too much, we would have pride. And pride produces denying God, disowning Him, because we think we're okay with God. Who's God when I have everything? But if we have too little, then we will steal because we're hungry. We need. And so we will bring shame and dishonor to God. And I just love this fact because honestly saying, I have been in both positions where I had too little that I did steal. And I was so mad about the fact that I was poor that I've been doing side jobs since I was a middle school student, working in fast food restaurants, making my own money. And I've become very pleasant, I guess. I've tasted and seen the riches once, and I can proudly say that once you have enough, you want more. There is never enough with money. And I am glad that I've been exposed to both experiences because God has shown me the reason of daily bread. That if we have too much, we become too arrogant. And when we have too little, we become shameful and we bring disgrace. But by every single day, God gives us exactly what we need. Hence is why He tells us He gives us daily bread. That God is not the God who would forsake us, to leave us hungry, to leave us starving. And God is not the God who would give us too much to make us boastful, to make us arrogant. But day by day, just as we read one chapter a day of Proverbs, God gives us our daily bread, food, blessing, money, or wisdom, whatever it is. God gives us the perfect amount of how much we need. And the last thing I want to share with you guys is from verse 24, where it tells us to remember 4 things. I know I only said like 3 to 4, but the third one requires 4 things that you need to know. So here it goes. It says in verse 24, 4 things on earth are small, yet there are extremely wise. So there are 4 things that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. Well, Agar has already shared with you guys, but we need to remember these 4 characteristics. It can be personalities, it can be a creature, but whatever it is for you, I want you guys to really put this into your hearts and try to apply these 4 things. The first creature is ants. Ants are really small, and we all know that, like, if we step on them, they die. And, like, we can step on, like, probably 15 in one step, and they're just dead. But anyways, ants are very, very small creatures, and they have little strength. But they are the most diligent, the most wisest creatures, because in summer they do not rest. They do not stop for a watermelon. They don't stop for a water drink, but they keep on working to store up food for winter. And God tells us that through ants, what we can learn is to be diligent, to not be lazy, but to be diligent. Number 2 is hyraxes. And first, I didn't know what a hyrax was, and so I had to search it up on the internet, but it's like a beaver looking creature. And I was just like, oh, it's so cute. And I was just like, what about this? It's little, and it says it has little power, but makes home in crags. And I was just like, what's a crag? And I'm sorry if I don't know this word, but I had to look it up in the definition, and it's rocks. So apparently hyraxes, they make their homes inside of rocks. And through research, I got to learn that hyraxes' teeth, they're like rocks. And so they like kind of like make their homes like that with their teeth, with their mouth. And so I guess they dig up their own homes inside of a rock. Like, they're these tiny beaver-looking creatures. I guess you can have them as a pet, but probably not, because they're like really, really aggressive. But they make their own homes inside of a rock. And so little power, little strength it has, but it is so strong. And I think what Agar was trying to tell us through hyraxes is that it might look small, it might look like it has little power, and it might look weak, but internally, it is so strong. And what we can learn from this is that people might see us as foolish people because we believe in God. People might see us as we're weak people, but because we have God, we are strong inside of God. And when we are filled with the Spirit, when we are one with God, when we are aligned with God, He gives us strength. Because when I am weak, He is strong. And when I am weary, He's the one who gives me strength. So when we believe in this, I believe that He will give us strength like hyraxes, like teeth like hyraxes, where we can make our own homes inside of the rock, whom is the never moving God. God is our rock. Interesting. But anyways, you guys know what I mean. And the third thing is locusts. I know I hate locusts as well. It's a bug, betugi, and I really don't like bugs. But fun fact about locusts is that they don't have a leader, and they move in packs. They move in certain groups, and they move by ranks. And so what it says is that locusts has no king, but they advance together in ranks. This is what it says in ESV. And what I found so interesting about locusts is that they keep order. That although they don't have a king, they don't have a leader, they don't have a ruler, they keep order and they move together as a group. When we compare that to us human beings, sometimes we want rulers and we follow rulers. And there are a lot of people who wants to rule, who wants to lead a certain group. And if the group is held in the wrong hands, of wicked hands, or like foolish people or arrogant people, then that group gets destroyed. As we read on Proverbs, it said so. But the fun fact about locusts is that they have a big community. They have their togetherness of how they move. And I think this is something that we need to learn, because we as kingdom of God, we as Christians, we cannot just rely on a certain leader, except for God, and we cannot be so arrogant to lead upon a certain group. But we need to hold each other's hands. We need to care for one another, and we need to grow together. We need to move together like a pack of locusts. And at the same time, we need to keep order, because if we do not keep order, then our group, our togetherness is going to be destroyed. And so to have togetherness like locusts. And the fourth thing is lizards. I did not know this, but in the Bible it says lizards are easy to be caught with our hands, but they are found in king's palaces. I didn't know that lizards would be in king's palaces. And I definitely did not know that they can be easily caught with our bare hands. But apparently it says so. And I think the last characteristics that it's teaching us is to guard our own hearts, to make ourselves royal inside of God. That no matter where we go, people can easily catch us because we might be easily seen. We can be easily exposed as God's children, as a Christian. But wherever we go and no matter where we are, that we can be a proud being of God's ambassador. That wherever we go, we may be able to be seen as God's royalty, And it's a privilege to be God's royalty. And so the 4 characteristics, I really encourage you guys to kind of really write them down, note them down in your hearts, and to try to apply them wherever you guys are, whenever you guys can. To be diligent as ants, to have strong faith and foundational faith inside of your own hearts, inside of your own beings as hyraxes, and to form a togetherness, to form a community, to love and care your brothers and sisters, to form a deep and fruitful relationship as locusts. And last but not least, to keep your royalty as a child of God like lizards. God gives us the perfect amount of daily bread that we need day by day. And so if you guys are feeling tired, just go up to God and say, God, I need help. God, I am tired. And it might seem weird, but God really doesn't care if we whine to him because he's the one who wants to listen rather than ignoring our feelings and turning back from him. And so, yes, if you guys are feeling a bit tired today, stop whatever you're doing and just have a breather. Think about what you are doing right now. And yes, we only have one more day left until we finish all 31 chapters of Proverbs. And tomorrow is the last day. And I want to challenge you guys. What are you guys going to do after reading all 31 chapters of Proverbs? From August, if you guys have anything planned out, what is it? And I want to ask you guys, if you guys are feeling tired, if you guys are feeling anxious about it, to really pray about it and stop your thoughts and to really give it up to God, because that's what I'm doing right now. I am a bit anxious. I am a bit challenged to see what I will be focusing from August. But at the same time, God is giving me a heart to stop and think and to really pray and have this conversation with God, to digest my thoughts with him. And so I'm going to stop talking for today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for chapter 31. And don't forget to lock down your schedules for the 1st of August, 10 p.m. so that I can have a D&M time with you guys through a live stream. And so have a great afternoon, day, night, morning, whatever it is, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.